On this, joining me now is Republican Senator from Alabama, Senator Britt. Senator Britt, wonderful to have you here with us. For those of you watching, she is the youngest Republican woman to ever be elected into the Senate. Certainly a proud moment for your home state, I know. And I want to ask you, if I can, of course, I want to ask you if I can first, your reaction to our reporting here at ABC News that it sounds like this minerals deal between the United States and Ukraine could be signed as soon as today. Perhaps it even gets signed before this joint session.
I think that is incredibly encouraging. Look, President Trump has made this very clear on the campaign trail and during his 7 weeks in office. He wants to achieve peace. He wants to create an opportunity, obviously, for the Ukrainians and create stability across the globe. I think being able to come back to the table, it's very exciting to think that this may be something, this is the first step in a larger process of achieving that peace, not just for that region, but truly across the world. So I'm not surprised. This is what President Trump does. He is a deal maker. He makes sure that the parties come to the table in good faith, and then he works to achieve the greatest outcome for the people that he serves. And in this case, I think this will be good not only for Ukraine, but certainly good for the United States of America.
And as you mentioned there, the president trying to, achieve the greatest outcome for the people he serves, the American people. I'm curious to know what you're hearing from your constituents amid these looming tariffs. They're now in effect. And we, like the CEO of Target, for example, Senator Britt, said on CNBC that he thinks food prices will rise in just the next couple of days because of these tariffs. What are you hearing from your constituents in Alabama?
Well, we're hearing actually what you just reported as well, which is that people are coming to the table. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick is having conversations with both Canada and Mexico. This is something that was talked about over and over again over the last 4 years. Truly, there's been no more litigated issue than our wide open borders. President Trump came in and said, look, I'm going to put the safety and security of Americans first. Obviously, we have seen the numbers dramatically decrease in his first few weeks in office. And you heard Joe Biden say during his tenure, he couldn't do that without legislation. President Trump has already proved that to be wrong. Now, as we look to find ways to keep that border secure and to keep that stable, we also have to make sure that we put an end to the fentanyl that is pouring across our border. President Trump is letting these countries know that he is serious about the role that they play in killing Americans. When you look at this, we have more Americans die of fentanyl overdose or fentanyl poisoning between 18 and 45 than any other thing out there. And so I think he's saying, I need you to come to the table. You have a role to play in helping us save Americans' lives. And so I think that was heard loud and clear. We see them coming to the table. I am hopeful that that will produce real results that obviously allows Americans to be safe and secure, because I can promise you, if you talk to any of these moms, any of these dads, and I have had that opportunity, their story is gut-wrenching, it is painful, and you know that we know where it's coming from. It's coming from China. We know it makes its way into Mexico and over both our northern border and places and obviously our southern border. So I think he is getting to the bottom of it. He's getting real cooperation from these countries, and the end result will be a more safe and a more secure America.
I do know also that he has pointed to China and their responsibility in those precursor chemicals as well. I'm also curious, though, as your thoughts on First Lady Melania Trump. She has several guests in attendance with her tonight, accompanying her. One of them is a steelworker from Alabama. What are you hearing from steelworkers in your home state here amid these tariffs?
Look, they're actually thrilled to actually be put back on level playing field with people across the country. We know China's role in what is happening in fentanyl spreading across our nation. We also know that they continue to find ways to undermine the American worker, steal our intellectual property, drive down American ingenuity and American wages. What this does is creates a level playing field so that we can drive up those wages. We can give people good paying jobs and opportunities for the American dream. I mean, when you take a step back and you think, what have we learned over the last 4 or 5 years? Look at COVID. If COVID taught us nothing else, which there's a lot of lessons to be learned from that, it taught us we must secure our critical supply chain. President Trump had a press conference yesterday saying that is exactly what he's doing. He is making sure that we not only secure those supply chains, but that we onshore and nearshore critical jobs. And so this leveling of the playing field, not allowing China to undercut the hard work and innovation of Americans will do just that. So the steel worker from Alabama is absolutely excited to make sure that his workmanship, his craftsmanship is well received by people here in this country and then ultimately all across the world.
All right, Senator Britt, thank you so much for coming on with us. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.